GSL.
Welcome back to the GSL Code S with Artosis and Wolf. It is our first day of the round of 32. Really happy to be back with the greatest, most difficult tournament in the world.
It certainly is, Artosis. The best players here in Korea, just proven why they are the best players every single Wednesday and Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. Korean Standard Time.
That's right. Make sure you don't miss a beat. It's going to be awesome. All season long, nonstop. I love it when we're actually in season. Those little off-season breaks in between, I kind of get bored.
They feel weird, you know. They're just we're in the off-season. You're not watching the high-level StarCraft II all the time. You can only watch the VOD so many times while you're sitting and waiting. Who do you favor actually going into this Terran versus Zerg?
This is such a hard one for me. It really, really is. Obviously, Bbyong is the favorite if you just look at like who these players are and what they've done. But I feel like Dark is like, he's really super good, and he doesn't play in almost anything, right? So that means he has a lot of practice time, and you can't, you know, especially after an off season like that, you can't just be like, well, this guy's just better right now. During the season, it's a lot easier because you have more games to look at, but when you have nothing else that you're preparing for, your overall skill level is going to go way up. So I wonder how good this guy is right now. He was good in Code A, obviously he got through. You did look good and strong. How good is he right this moment, though, which is weeks later?
I feel like he definitely could pull an upset. He's shown us some really good matches in the past, just here and there. I feel like his full potential hasn't been quite realized yet. Whereas
Certainly not.
Bbyong is like much closer to his. I mean, it's funny to say this because his ID is Dark, but he feels to me like a real dark horse in the group.
I looked at this group and it was like, okay, I think Tails probably won't get out. Zest will definitely get out. This guy's a dark horse. We'll see how Bbyong does. I don't know. It's a difficult group to predict correctly.
Well, here's Bbyong. Take a look at some of his information here. He's ranked 35th in WCS. He's been in Code S 4 times.
Yeah, he's really strong, man. He's one of the best Terrans, and you know, just maybe not as flashy as people would like. Doesn't have as fabled a career as you know, people are looking at to worship. Yeah. But he's definitely doing better than pretty much any Terran. You know, like, yeah, there are a few Terrans in Pro League right now that are doing better than him overall. But like even recently in Pro League, is he, for this block of Pro League, is he like 4-0 right now, I believe?
He's 4-0. He's either 4-0 or 3-0, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
I mean, basically only Maru is like more consistent than him, but even honestly, these past few weeks, Maru hasn't looked as good.
So, I mean, we'll see how this one goes. Overgrowth is going to be our first map, and this is a map that I would expect for Bbyong, if he's going to go mech at all, it's going to be here. We'll see about that because, you know, it's a big map. The bases are all kind of far away from your opponent. Zergs feel quite comfortable here. It's a pretty standard map, I guess, overall. But I really like mech here. I think that this is, out of all the new maps, this is the best one for mech for sure in this matchup.
Well, time will tell. This is a map often picked by Zergs. Map they are favoring right now. Dark, the Dark Horse against Bbyong, one of 4 Terrans in the GSL Code S. Let's go into this first map. And Wolf, with me is Artosis, and I couldn't be more excited.
It's not even possible.
It's not even possible.
Over here in the top right, one of our Dark Horses in this tournament this season, he is
SK Telecom T1 Dark, Bbyong.
He's going to be super good one day, man. He's one of these guys you got to watch out for in the future.
Yeah. He's up against this guy, one of 4 Terrans.
CJN2's Bbyong, Jung-Woo-Young.
I'd say probably the second best in this tournament when you look at results.
Yeah, he's doing quite well, and you know, I'd be excited for him to go far. Thing is, out of this group, I really don't care to see Tails advance, really. You know, like, I know that you're a real big fan of him, and he definitely does have a different play style, but I look at him, I'm like, I don't know. Like, eventually you're just going to slap down like we saw against Zest. Like, people are just going to have his number and be like, no, that cheesy shit isn't working here. Not today. Whereas these other 3 players, I'm like, I'm really interested how far they can get. Obviously, Zest, this is a guy that is already a champion, so I don't need to talk about him. But with Bbyong, like, he's at the real start of the big part of his career, right? He's really starting to do well. One of the only Terrans consistently getting into Code S, doing very well in Pro League and all this. And then we have Dark, who's like really just starting to come up. Like, we're seeing him pop into Code S and just show us like some pretty good games. But it like better than a lot of other games that we see from other guys that are quote unquote upcoming.
Yeah.
Like if you compare Dark to someone like Journey or something, you're like, well, I mean, Dark is 10 times better than Journey.
Yeah, even if you look at somebody like the old Soxry or like Amani.
I would put Dark way above those guys.
Even a player like Emotion, for example. I'm trying to think of the other up-and-comers.
Yeah, and these are guys that are doing pretty well right now that you mentioned, but Dark is like a level above that, but still not. He still hasn't done anything. It's just like you watch his play, and you're like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah, he's like on the cusp, I would say.
Yeah.
And this could be his moment to show why he is. You know.
Yeah, people on the cusp like this and like Bbyong, like they just suddenly one season are going to kick ass, and then they're going to be a big name. So, anyways, I'm really excited to see how these two go. I don't know how this match will turn out.
Well, I favor Bbyong here, but the thing is, anything could happen. Let's see how much damage he gets done with this Reaper. I mean, he's forced a lot of lings here.
Yeah, and he's really on top of the micro because he is going into a 3rd Reaper. How do you like that, Wolf?
Well, we've been seeing this more and more often. Sometimes with a Dream Bunker, but usually just
normally when Dream plays.
Yeah. But usually just poking a little bit with the Reapers. And it gives you that follow-up with the Hellions that's much stronger. And I think that on this map in particular, it isn't the best opener necessarily, because the creep doesn't have to go too far to get to that 3rd base. But we'll see how much damage you can get done with the follow-up. Because if you make one mistake against 3 Reapers, you're going to lose a Queen. And you're going to lose a drone, or you're going to lose more than what you bargained for against 2 Reapers. So I'd say that when you go for 3 Reapers, unless you've got a really good Hellion follow-up plan, which I'm sure Bbyong does, I think 2 is better than 3 because you're guaranteed. You're not guaranteed to do damage. You're only going to do damage if your opponent makes a mistake, and that's a weird sort of idea to have going into a game at this level.
Well, you know, in this game, he decided to leave 1 Reaper at home just in case any Lings came by or any scouts of any type, and just harass with 2. Didn't really get damage done. But, you know, obviously these are going to help out with those Hellions he'll be making. In the meantime, he is going for his 3rd command center. Actually started it very, very quickly here. And we do have that 3rd hatch going up for Dark. But again, the 3rd command center a lot quicker.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point in time, he's not at the Hellion count he needs just yet. They put on some heavy pressure, where the hatchery hit points growing at a rapid rate. So I don't think he's going to be able to damage the hatchery too much here, but he may be able to deny drones from mining and clear up some of that creep, stop the creep from connecting, and if he's lucky, get a Queen. If there's a mistake on the part of Dark in the micro. He's going into Lair now and adding those triple extractors.
Yeah, and here we go. Looks like he's going to come up and start this harassment. Going to want to keep that creep spread back as much as possible. He is going for bio-based supply, so keep that creep spread back is even more important than ever before, especially considering how far away these bases are for him to actually end up attacking.
Yeah. I mean, he's putting on some heavy pressure here, but it's not enough, and the hatchery was so early. Well, I wouldn't say it's early, but it's been around long enough to build up those hit points as it's building, to where he's not going to be able to approach a kill there, a snipe.
I would say unless you open with a Banshee, you're never gonna really kill the hatch, and if you open the Banshee, you generally don't either, but you then have at least some potential for it. So we'll see what he gets done with this. You know, if he can bruise up some Queens, maybe kill some Queens, at least make him use some transfusions, kill a few creep tumors here and there, force some extra Lings. These are all valuable things.
He's going to just kind of sit back a little bit for now, add up 2 more Hellions, and he's got a pretty hefty Hellion count right now, actually.
Yeah, he actually made quite a few. He went up to 8 here.
Now he's going to commit to this attack a little bit more. 1 transfuse goes down. I think he has 1 more, and I think that Bbyong seeing this might consider moving back and not actually committing any further. Good micro, though, saves both of those red Hellions.
Yeah, he's being very careful with these, despite the fact that he has quite a few of them. It's kind of interesting the way that he's playing this. I like that he's trying to keep them all alive, though, because this is definitely going to help when he actually moves out with some Marines as well, as his upgrades finish and he gets some medevacs and, you know, moves out with stim and all that. Having those extra Hellions definitely can be quite nice.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got to be careful, because if you start hemorrhaging units on a map like this, where Zerg is going to pretty easily take the 4th, which you generally are battling over, then you're not going to be able to get all the way over there and do any real damage.
True. Though, at this stage, he's not really, you know, he's committed so much to his 3rd base economy. He's made so many Hellions. He doesn't really have, you know, any medevacs out to do any dropping. So the Spire is going to be out, and Mutalisk can be started before the medevacs. So drop play in this game is not going to be really used at all until much later, I would say. And Bbyong isn't really a dropper, you know, compared to some of our other Terrans. So I guess it's not really an issue for him. He just wants to keep his attacks more ground-based in nature. Which is why that creep spread you were talking about earlier is really important here, and it's so far out. It's not thick yet, but it's reaching pretty far.
It's doing pretty well, especially considering he opened up with 8 Hellions and 3 Reapers. You wouldn't expect the creep to be this good, but Bbyong has like really protected those units, so that's telling me that he realizes that on a map like this, he's going to have to do a very powerful attack, and he can't lose these units if he wants to get that attack done. So I feel like this is exactly what his plan is. We'll see how it works out, though.
Yeah, I mean, he has a ton of units here with 1-1. They're soon to have combat shields. Obviously, you can see here they have stim. And there aren't a ton of Banelings out on the map yet either. So with these Hellions, you can kind of kite against the Banelings, but that creep spread makes this much harder to execute right now.
I do have to point out that I love how quickly the Dark is getting his upgrades.
Oh,
that's a huge mistake. Ooh, that really is so painful right there. But you know what? He has Baneling speed right now as well. If he gets enough Banelings, then on creep, he's going to do pretty well. And you know, that creep spread really hasn't been pushed back very much. So it could be smart for him to go over here up the left-hand side, but the thing is, it's kind of narrow. So if he comes down 2 ramps with his Ling Bane, probably going to break him. Break the army, at least.
Yeah. He has only 9 Banelings as far as I can tell right now, so he's pretty Baneling light right now. He's been using most of his gas on those duos, especially because he had to remake the ones that he lost earlier. And, you know, there's a lot of Hellions here, 6 of them, to help against those Speedlings, but he just can't still get too far on that creep. These Widow Mines are certainly going to help out pretty significantly, though, against this, because suddenly with a few Widow Mines in the mix, the Ling count is not as scary, because a few good shots changes everything.
It certainly could. Now, he is trying to do some harassment over here. He's got to be careful, though. And in fact, those mutas kind of turned around quicker than I thought they would right there. I feel like he may have been able to do a little bit more, but with this drop going to the main base, he's going to have to go up and stop it.
And he should be able to clean that up okay here. Just a few mutas, actually now bringing the rest of the flock over to actually kill that dropship. But he's distracted right now, which allows the creep to be cleared up over here on the right side. And he's even sending over this small squad to the 4th base.
You know, he's doing a lot of multi-pronged harassment right now, clean up creep and trying to attack in other locations, but if Dark starts picking off a few of these medevacs, then everything could backfire. So I'm a little bit nervous right now for Bbyong.
Yeah, there's only 1 Baneling there, but he gets a great connect. And just like you were saying, these Mutalisks are looking to connect with those medevacs and start picking them off. And he's got a lot of Banelings coming out down here to help out with this. The Widowmine is not ready. Gets a surround on this army, and those medevacs, if he lifts up with them, are going to be picked off. Looks like they may be picked off regardless here. And Bbyong is pushed all the way back to his natural right now, and those E-Bays are a bit exposed.
Well, he is going to continue walking in here, brings his Banelings in as well. Those Mutas doing a good job harassing. Oh, wow. How many SCVs was that?
A decent amount.
Yeah, well, I guess not as many as I thought, but still, he is hurting the economy. He's picking off a lot of units here, even some Widow Mines. And this is going so well for Dark. Look at his drone count, 78. Really healthy drone count for his 4 bases.
He just has so much bank, too. So I think he's just going to do a big Baneling attack here to maybe just finish things off. 9 more being morphed right now. It's really important to note, I would argue that more so than killing the SCVs, it's actually to kill the bio coming out there, and with that he can actually end the game, because SCVs can't really fight in this situation.
Yeah, not really. Well, it looks like he does want to get in here and mix it up once again, running those Banelings in, and, well, some Widowmine hits do occur, but does it really matter?
Well, let's find out. Gets another one burrowed here. That could be a great hit, and it is. And he's still killing SCVs over here. A few Lings coming at the front to kill the rest of those Marines. And I mean, he's just continuing to do damage.
He's gaining value every single time.
Yeah.
Because this is 3 base against 4 base. He's the one being an aggressor. His economy is not being touched. See, like, he's doing a drop, still not going to be able to really get anything done, I don't think. This is going just so superbly for Dark. He's playing a fantastic game. And one thing I do want to point out is that during all of this, I've been watching the mini-map, and he's been spreading creep while attacking. So
yeah. He's reconnecting everything.
Yeah.
He has a 5th base being made.
The right side was completely cleared when Bbyong attacked. It's all back.
Yeah.
So that is a big deal, especially on this map, I would say.
Needless over here, going to be warded away. But he's taken the gold base right now, and so is Bbyong. And with Bbyong, of course, taking the gold base, he's going to have this explosion of minerals, which allows him to reproduce his bio army a lot faster. He might even consider adding a few extra barracks, 1 or 2, just to get that extra production.
Well, we have a lot of Banelings morphing. He's going to have over 40 Banes and a ton of Lings as well. Yeah, like, he's even going to have 60 Banes, I think. And, you know, with a planetary going up at that gold, that's going to be an easy target for him to kill off, especially considering he's going up to a 5th base being gold. I'm not sure what Bbyong's plan is here. I just can't imagine winning this game.
Well, it doesn't seem like he has much of one at all. Thor does tank some Banelings here and gets out, but this base is definitely going to have to lift.
I thought that was a planetary morphing, never mind. It was an orbital, so good choice there by Bbyong. But
I mean,
still,
he doesn't have any ground. He's not gaining any either. He sends a group of units over here to the top left that has a few Widow Mines, so just pure Lings isn't going to deal with this. But still, is that really going to be a game changer? No, because he turns around with most of his army. That shot is pretty good on the Mulus, but they will recover.
It's good, but what has he done here? Has he actually achieved anything? No, not really.
Well, I guess the only thing you could argue that he achieved there is that he's able to re-land his orbital.
Yeah.
He's able to recontrol that 4th base, but he doesn't have any SCVs over there mining, so how significant is that really? You
know, and his unit composition is like having 3 Widow Mines and 3 Thors. I don't think that's really enough to deal with this huge amount of Mutiling Bane. It's just... Even when he gets good shots off, look at that, he's like letting his Banelings kill Thors at this point because his economy is so strong.
Transfusing these queens, trying to keep them alive a bit longer. It's going to have to rally some units back at home to deal with that drop, but those units are now missing here where they're needed critically to defend. That Thor will go down, and I think he's just going to get the orbital this time, killing all the SCVs, right-clicking there with the Mutalisk on that command center.
Still, Bbyong trying to get some sort of counter damage done. He's not really able to. And, you know, it's not too early to say that this game is basically Dark's because, you know, it's generally a battle over the 4th, but then, you know, okay, if you have a 4th, Terran takes a 4th and you take a 5th, and it's kind of like you can still play the game, but right now it's 3 bases, 2 of which are almost mined out for Bbyong, against 5 bases, 1 of which is a gold for Dark. And look at that creep spread. I mean, yeah, his hive is a bit late. Yeah, the upgrades for Bbyong are better, but... He's got full map vision. It's not like there's a lot of flying room for drops on this map. You know, it's even though it's a big map, it's kind of compact on the sides.
Yeah, there's no dead airspace.
Yeah, so like he sees everything that's coming. You can see that he has basically full vision of over half the map. There's just like, there's not even like a style or strategy with this type of unit composition that Bbyong can use to start coming back.
I mean, it just really looked like he wanted to hit an aggressive time with Marines and Hellions to do damage.
Yeah.
And it got shut down hard, and now he's paying the price for it because he was so committed to that. He's now down 60 supply here. No answer for these Banelings. They're crashing through his 3rd base. They even target it down because why not at this point? That's how good his economy is. This base over here looks like it will be eventually defended. There's a drop in the main, but there's not left much to kill there economy-wise.
Yeah, you know what? He does an okay job with these 2 drops for sure, but it doesn't matter because he lost his 3rd base. He has nothing left. Yeah. He could kill the hive and he could kill the 4th, and it still doesn't matter.
The spawning pool and it would be okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like the game is over. He's got nothing left over. His economy is down to 0, and it's just a matter of seconds before he says GG.
I mean, these Lings even are basically almost enough to clean up the rest of the game. The only thing that's missing, or was missing for Dark, is a 3-3. It may have actually completed at this point by now. We don't have the production tab up, but it was getting closer. Same with the Adrenal Gland, so he's going to have that Adrenaline upgrade for his Zerglings. They're going to attack a lot faster. That means they're so much stronger. And GG, Dark takes game 1.
And so now I was saying let's take a look and see how well Dark is playing. I think he's playing really fantastically. There was nothing in that game that I thought he did poorly, to be honest. he did a good job. He defended against the Hellions reasonably well. He took his bases and upgrades at good times. His attacks were well controlled and well thought out, I thought. I mean, not perfect play, but very, very strong. Whereas Bbyong, a few questionable things, like he made 8 Hellions and 3 Reapers and didn't really deal with the creep spread, and I think that was for the more powerful mid-game timing attack, but with the fact that Dark did good creep spread because there was no harassment, and the fact that he got quick baneling speed, and he was basically keeping up on upgrades. He was just behind Bbyong on upgrades, which is generally what you see in this match between 2 equal players.
Yeah.
Bbyong didn't really have too much of a shot that game.
He didn't really have much of an edge at any point. And if you're going up against a Zerg who's playing macro style, eventually you just have enough gas bank to roll you over with banelings. And I mean, Lings only cost you Larva really once they're on that 4th base. And if you have the Larva to support that, if your injects are at a pro gamer level, you have enough Lings. If you have the gas to support the banelings, Bbyong just eventually gets overwhelmed, because I really like that you mentioned there's not a whole lot of dead airspace on the map to actually put those drops around. So all of his drops are spotted and dealt with pretty handily. So I'm liking Dark's play here so far. Merry-go-round, a big map here too.
You know, I like Merry-Go-Round for TVZ. I feel like it's a strong map for Bbyong here, so let's see how it goes.
Let's see indeed. This is day 1 of the GSL Code S, the 2nd season for 2014. It's Group A today with our